Sup? So with Marvel Rivals being a little over 3 weeks away, we're getting more and more heroes flooding the pool with slight leaks and hints at more to come with the little time we have left. I figured with what we have now, I'd throw together the top 5 most overpowered abilities in Marvel Rivals. This list primarily will consist of my opinions on why these abilities are objectively overpowered and the ways you could change these moves to keep them strong, but just not OP. The biggest differential I want to make here is the ability from the champion. A lot of the abilities listed here don't make the character itself overpowered because the heroes in the game should be inherently bottlenecked in other ways to prevent one move from being the tipping point. And with that being said, the NetEase balance team has done a great job at hero balance already. I wanted this video to originally be the top 10 most broken abilities with the inclusion of certain spells like Mantis or Luna Ultimate, but I had no idea how I generally change those abilities besides just tweaking strong numbers. From the outside glass looking in, those ultimates are incredibly strong, stronger than any ability that will be listed here. But for the damage we have in the game, those ultimates don't look as OP when you're inside the glass. So with that disclaimer out of the way, we start with the number 5 least overpowered ability in the game, which is Namor Bubble, Blessing of the Deep. Blessing of the Deep reads, summon a protective barrier while flying upwards. Prior to the beta, in the alpha, Blessing of the Deep read, summon a protective barrier while flying upwards, shielding Namor while disabling movement and skill use. As we can see, there's a pretty big change, allowing Namor to go full Minecraft creative mode while he flies into the sky while still being healable. All of this for the full duration of 6 seconds. Look at this move objectively. On any hero, the skill itself is incredibly strong, but also your allies can heal you mid-bubble, so there's no coordination at all. It's not like, oh, he's dropping down soon, I'll heal you when you drop down. No, it's just, hey, look at me, look at me, look at me, let me get some heals. What? I feel like something there can definitely be changed by either not allowing him to be healed or generally not allowing him to move around or even making it 3 seconds instead of 6. But the fact that you can spend 3 seconds pinging your team and another 3 seconds waiting to get healed, it feels way more generous than it has to be. Number 4. Coming in at number 4, we have a controversial one for the Punisher mains out there, 100%. We have Punisher's ultimate, Final Judgment, which reads, unleash 2 Gatling guns and missiles to attack enemies. Now this ultimate altogether is another one of those moves where you can argue it's a necessity for why it has so much power. But honestly, I'm not here to argue the power of the ultimate. I think it's pretty balanced. And with the amount of vertical movement and corners we have on each map, I really do feel like it's not that hard to escape the Punisher's ultimate. Especially because bro calls it out on the loudspeaker. Judge! Jerry! My biggest bone to pick with this clown is the idea that he goes unstoppable mid-ultimate. How does that even make any sense? There are so many random abilities that should cancel his ultimate, like Luna Freeze, Sedation, Magneto Knockback, or even Thor slamming into him with Mjolnir, but he just bounces off like he's a brick wall! I feel like generally, as Punisher, it's your job to position correctly, just objectively, that's your champion. You have 0 escape when you're being dove, so position near champions are in a safe spot. But how in God's name does Thor just bounce off Punisher like he has some Wakanda force field around him? That makes no sense. I have Mjolnir! Again, the ability to me just feels incredibly generous for no reason. He already does a lot of damage, just make it so you can counter his ultimate in some way. Freeze him, knock him up, push him back. I don't care, just don't make him a brick wall, man. Have you ever wondered what it's like to have double tap and infinite ammo at the same time? Well, think no more. Rocket Raccoon, Punisher, and Winter Soldier team up, baby. Ammo overload. Ammo overload reads, Rocket Raccoon throws an ammo overload device in a target direction. Upon entering the device's range, Punisher and Winter Soldier receive the buff of infinite ammo and faster firing. So there's a lot to unpack here. The ability for starters is on a 45-second cooldown and lasts 10 seconds. I think we all noticed this ability when we were playing with it or against it. This was a move that inherently almost always bought you 10 seconds of payload push time or defense time. Because without Groot, you couldn't really do anything to match the ability. Even with a shield from Magneto or Strange, Punisher could just shred through it instantaneously. It's one of those moves where, like his ultimate, you just run and hide when you see it up. My biggest problem with this ability is not the fact that it's double tap with infinite ammo, or the cooldown of the ability itself. My biggest issue with this move is that it's indestructible. I think because you can throw it down in the middle of a team fight with 0 repercussions, it makes no sense. By having to place your ammo overload behind a wall or hiding it, just generally making it a team effort to defend the ammo overload and the user when it's up, it adds more team coordination and most importantly, skill expression in general. I do like the ability. I like how the ability's team-ups redefine picking certain heroes. Team-ups undoubtedly, in my eyes, should be some of the strongest abilities in the game. But I don't think allowing us to break ammo overload makes it any less strong. Just give it an HP bar, allow us to break it, and force these Rocket Raccoon mains to hide their ammo overloads, make them play in better spots, and make them play more like a team. Here we go, baby. Coming in at number 2, we have an interesting one. I wasn't actually able to play against this move. This one reigns highly on my list strictly due to expectations and past experiences. We have Bucky Barnes' ultimate, Kraken Impact, which reads leap high, then dash forward and slam down, dealing damage to enemies in range, marking them for culling. Marked enemies will perish instantly if health falls below a certain threshold, recharging the bionic arm for another Kraken Impact with a short period. To me, this ability inherently seems OP because of the culling aspect. I don't think it's gonna be healthy, and I don't see a world where you wouldn't just open up on the Venom who's diving in and caught out of place. To me, even with Venom's huge shield, if he wastes his swing going in, all you have to do is instantly crack and impact his ass into your team unloading into him. That's a kill. Boom, reset. If you want, you already gain the numbers advantage, but you have the reset also. I think we'll see a world where eventually Kraken Impact no longer grants culling, or maybe they'll just have a different HP execution for the culling passive and for you just flat laying out the execute on top of them. I do see where they're coming from though. A raw execute in a game like this might be presented a lot harder because the healing abilities are more consistent and prevalent, but I feel like this move can have a lot of pressure still without the culling and the execute being the same amount of HP. Obviously, I'll see more how this move affects me when I'm able to play again in December 6th, but for right now, undoubtedly in my mind, this stands out as one of the most overtuned abilities in Marvel Rivals. Now for the Shibuya, the #1 and final last straw, the ability to change all abilities. We have Storm Ultimate, Omega Hurricane. That's a beastie ass name also. The ultimate reads, transform into a hurricane to draw in nearby enemies and deal damage. My biggest problem with this ability is the fact that she gains a 350 bonus shield when casting her ultimate, effectively giving her 600 HP to work with while she's just dishing out, I believe, the biggest volume of damage we have in the game at the moment. Storm's ultimate will undoubtedly always burn your strategist's ultimate and will open the tunnel up wide enough for you to finally get a push. Without a doubt, it's one of the best game-changing ultimates out there, and with her damage boost to teammates as well, she gains access to her ultimate incredibly quickly. I believe they can lower her shield and lower the radius of the ultimate, and without a doubt, it'll still be one of the best teamfighting ultimates in the entire game. Again, there are clear ultimates I wanted to put on this list, like Luna or Mantis, even Adam Warlock's Revive, but I feel like those abilities exist in the game strictly because of the other damage dealing abilities on the side, like Storm, like Punisher, ultimates that when given access can shred anyone and anything. But because you can kill Luna Snow or Mantis in their ultimates, and Adam's Revive, it's not that far, and the people being revived are incredibly punishable as well. I don't find the abilities to be overpowered in a sense, just incredibly necessary, and there's nothing realistically besides numbers I would change on those 3 powerful ultimates. So that all being said, this video for sure could have been named the top 5 most broken duelist abilities in the game, but in comparison, strategist abilities are always going to have to be strong to combat the insane amount of damage in the game. And with the limited number of strategists in the direction we're going in right now, it's completely clear that healing strategists are going to prevail way more than utility ones by far. But let me know if you guys agree or think I'm crazy. The changes I made to the abilities ridiculous. Flat out, bruh, I just want to play the game again and stop talking about it. But until then, hopefully my rancid ideas can hold you guys down for the next 24 days. Thanks for watching.